Okay, now we are in the platform environment. On the left side of the screen, you see a bunch of navigation items, which gives you access to the primary domains of the platform. In the header section, you see the app navigation menu, and the first segment is your workspace menu. From here, you can access all of your projects from wherever you are in the application. You can create new projects, and but it also shows you some information about the number of projects that you own and your membership preferences. On the top right corner, you have the user menu. In the dashboard overview, you see some information about your profile, but also some statistics about the total projects that you have, total assets and contributors that you share among all of your projects. You see an overview of the recent projects that you're working on, and there are some primary actions available here. You can edit your profile from here. You can change your pictures, obviously, and you can change your personal information as well as carrier information. Just remember to fill this section as complete as you can. You can add expertise because these are going to appear on your public profiles, which you're going to see in a bit. You can also change your contact information or add ones. At this moment, you cannot change your email, but you can make it visible to the public. You can add phone, website, and social media. You can share your profile with anyone, and just remember that automatically you're assigned an username based on your first name and last name and also availability. And if you click on this view as public, you're going to see how your profile is going to look like to the public. As I said, your information is available, and these are the contact information. And you're going to see how you can add these images, slideshow on top of your profile. And your projects are displayed here. And obviously, each project has its own page, which we get to in another video. Let's get back to the dashboard. The next section is your project. You have all of your projects here. You can filter your projects based on being public and private, based on being owned by you or owned by anyone else. But you can also sort your projects based on the title, based on when it was created, number of assets it has, and team size, etc. You can create new projects. And if you click on any project, you see some details about the projects, some data about the projects, and you can go to the page. Next section is the work sessions. Work sessions are very specific isolated areas to organize some tasks linked to very specific projects. You can use chat box, you can generate images there, you can generate text. For example, in this one, we're studying some facade alternatives for this project. You see some details, you can go to the work sessions, we get to this as well, another video. You can also filter and sort as well. The next section in the group of portfolio is the public profile. As I said, the slideshow is here. You can change all the information, and we get to this also in another video. On the left bottom corner, you see the newsletter. You can subscribe to the newsletter. And just remember to see this learn section often because we're going to change this and add more materials over time. You can always edit and customize what appears on your public profiles. In order to do that, you can come to the public profile section. Just remember this section is under developments and many features and templates are coming up. You can use this edit button to access the profile settings model where you can change your picture, information, as we said before, your carrier information as well. Just remember to fill this area as complete as you can because these are going to appear in your public profile, and also you can add contact information including website and social media information. In here, there are the images that you can choose to be seen on your slideshow on top of your public profile. You can reorder them and choose the order that you need them to be seen, and you can save the changes, of course. In order to add new images, you can add this button. You can choose from the assets that you already have in your profile or just upload some new images right away from here. I'm going to do that now. I'm choosing an image right now. Let's say this one. If you click on the upload and add one asset, it uploads the asset and automatically is going to be placed on the line. Wait for a moment. Yeah, it's here. So we can change the order, save the changes, and if you need to see how your profile looks like, go to this view and you're going to see how it looks to the public. This slideshow appears here. As I said before, the projects are here, information that you added. Let's go back to the dashboard, to the public profile. If you need to remove any of these pictures, just hit the remove one. The changes will stay until you make more changes that you need to do. For example, maybe you need to remove one of these pictures as well, remove that as well, and save the changes again. Now it is here. Now we want to create a project. There are a couple of ways to start the process. If you're in your dashboard area, you see this plus button, it says create button. You can use this one to start the process. Or you can always come to this navigation menu. Now from here, again, you see this pause button, which you can use to start the process as well. If you're new to the platform, you will be seeing a button here to create a project. You can use that as well. Just simply start a project. Or if you're in your project section, you're also going to see this plus button. I'm going ahead and using this one to start the process. When you click on that one, the process begins. You need to give your project a title. And remember, it should be unique across your portfolio. I'm going to call this project number one, just as an example. Let's click. Now you can provide some information. And remember, you can skip all of these steps at any time. You can just change them later on in your panel. And the top was a private, category was office. I'm going to continue. Takes a bit of time. Now your project continues. In this step, it's going to ask you for some images. I'm just going ahead and provide some images. It automatically uploads all of your projects, assets as we call them. And when it's finished, you're going to see these analysis frames. You can use the analyze button to analyze each asset separately, or you can remove them if you don't like them anymore. I'm going to use this one to analyze all of them. It's going to take a few seconds before AI just analyzes all your assets. What it does basically, it provides some extra information like title, description, labels, category, and some confidence level in your images and how relevant in the eyes of the AI your assets are to the architectural context. When all of them are ready, you can ignore or accept any of those. I'm going using this button to accept all of those. It takes a few seconds to just wrap this up and finish up. When it's over, you can see it's accepted here. I'm going to continue. The next step, we're asking for some project summary and design approach. At this time, in the future, we're going to have more elaborated description parts, but you can also use the generative AI. If you have already uploaded the assets, it's going to be able to use those assets to generate a description for you. When it's ready, you can change it. You can change it later on. I'm going to just accept it for now. Continue. In the last steps, we are going to ask for some project status information, including, for example, when this project was design was completed. We can provide some dates. I'm just providing some. And for the team role, I was the principal architect in the design team, and we just hit the finish. When it's over with the process of creating your projects, you're going to see a preview of your public page of your project, as we call it, the story. And in the later on in the next videos, I'm going to explain that as well. You can go to the public page, see the preview in action. You can just scroll down and see the preview here as well. You can go back, but you can also go to the project right away. That's what you do now. Now we are in the project. Now we are in the project panel. Now our project is created and we are in the project panel. When you're in the project panel, first thing you should notice is that project menu is added to the app navigation bar. It gives you access to some functionalities of the project wherever you are inside the project. But it also provides some information about the project properties, including the assets it can pass, the storage it can hold, and the AI tokens it can consume over each month. If you click on the information, it provides more information about that. In front of it, you see the status, visibility status of your project. Either it is private or Republic, again, on the information, there are more information about that. In your project panel, you have a tab on top side. At the moment we have assets, including the images we uploaded, the contributors, which we're going to add one, and the story is the public page of your project, which you can customize it here. Let's get back to the overview. On top side, you have the information, and there are some actions you can take in your project. If you click on the edit button, here you can edit your information about your project. First thing, just remember to add the project picture. I'm going to do that now. The project is finished. You can add the headline to your project. And here is the frame. If you click on this public button, your project will be public and accessible to the public view. In the brief, you can change also the information that you need to change. With this share, you can share your project. And with this view, you can see how it looks to the public. There is a slideshow in the background. You can change all of this in the story tab, which we get into it in another video. If you scroll down, you see project information, the contributors, which give access to the profiles. We have the galleries, and we have more picture galleries on the bottom side. Let's get back to the project panel. In the project panel, you have the overview of your recent assets, and which you can sort. If you click on this button, it takes you to the works sessions, which we also taught in another video, but simply you can generate or edit all of your images or videos in the future right there. The workstations of your projects and the contributors. Okay, now let's go to the assets tab. You should know that any file that belongs to a project is called an assets. It can be in images, it can be videos, it can be PDFs, 3D files, or whatsoever. And all of these things can be managed inside this assets tab. If you click on any asset, the details of that asset is previewed here. The title, descriptions, you have the options to download, edit, and delete the file. And there's some information about it as well. If you use this go to asset or simply double click on any asset, the asset panel opens for more information and actions. You see all of the information again here. In the analysis section, you see the analysis we did when we were creating the project. If you hadn't done this before, you had the option to analyze the asset right here. We have the use cases. Use cases refer to where this asset is used throughout the application. It can be in your public profile, it can be in your sharings that you have with other people, it can be in the PDFs that you're going to provide in the futures and many different places. And all of those use cases will be displayed right here. Of course, you have the all the actions you can take on the asset as well. To add new assets, you have a couple of ways to do this. You can always add assets from the project menu from the app navigation. You could use this plus button in the overview, project overview, or inside here you see this black plus button. I'm going to click that to have the upload assets open. Go ahead and select some of your files. I'm going to do this here. You can remove them if you change your mind. I'm going to select visualization for all of these things and hit the upload button. It takes a few minutes, seconds to upload all of your assets. Okay, now we see we have them here. You see the file sizes. These are don't have titles. You can add them, edit them here, and you can always sort throughout your assets based on different characteristics, or just basically search for them. I'm going to add another set of assets for your presentations. We also support PDFs. These are the drawings of the files. I'm going to upload them as well to get a good look at that. Now we have all drawings as well here. If you need to see this any asset for a better view for those assets, of course, which have preview, you can hit this expand button and have a full screen view of the project. Now let's go to the contributors tab. In here, you can add any team member that you had on this project or simply whoever made any contribution to project. At this moment, you see myself because I created this project. You can go ahead and edit any contributors you have. So for this one, we forgot to mention my role. I was an architect, let's say in this section of design team. We don't choose the dates for this one. When you don't choose the dates, the project start and project end is considered to your as your contribution. There are a couple of ways you can add contributors to the project. You can always use project menu. You could use overview the plus button there, but I'm going to use this add contributing plus button to have this window opened. You have a couple of options. If you're adding a team member that is already registered on the platform, you can search for their name. For example, I use this one, was one of the project's members, and assign them again the roles and sections and the dates, and simply add them to your project. It's going to be refreshed and placed here. In case the team member that you want to add as a contributor is not yet registered on the platform, there is no problem. You can use this create a new contributor to have a new window open. I'm going to put some name here and assign a role again. I'm going to design team. For this one, let's say we choose a date. We say that this person came from 1st of October 2019 and ended on 1st of December 2019. Okay, now it's added. Something you should notice and pay attention is that when you add someone to the project, it's going to be in the pending situation. And actually, that person should confirm the roles and all the information. If they make any changes, then again, the admin should confirm that one. And this goes on until the both sides accept on the role and the information. For the profiles that are not real, of course, if you don't have this one, let's go on and add another person. For example, Majid was our structure engineer in the technical team, technical design, let's call it. Add this to this project. Now we have them here, and you can go to the profile, etc. If you made a mistake for any of these ones, you can simply come here, edit them or delete them. Now let's take care of the project story. Project story is the name we gave to your project public page. Simply what public sees from your project. Inside the tab on the left side, you're going to see the preview of your page in different sections. The landing sections has two parts, which uses transition between those two parts. Then you have the project team, you have the intro gallery, the design approach part, You also have the picture gallery at the end. If you want to see how your page appears in different screens, go ahead and use this one. It gives you a preview. When you have a section selected, the related settings are going to appear on the right side. In the landing page, your project information are presented. So basically, if you need to change anything, you need to click on this button, which takes you back to the Manage Project Information window where you can make your changes. We go back. In the slideshow, the images are shown here in the Assets tab. These images were assigned automatically when we're creating the projects. Now I need to make some changes. For example, I don't like this one to be here, but I would also like to add another images. When you click on this one, you come back and all of your assets are available here. And maybe I bring this picture in the beginning, I put this on the right side and save the changes. Changes will be saved and your preview will be refreshed. Let's go to the next section. The next section is project team, and all the information presented here is from the contributors. So basically, if you need to make any changes, use this link or simply go back to the contributors, make your changes. The next section is the intro gallery. Intro gallery is meant to present some of the images of your project that best showcases your project, and it works perfectly when you have a title and description on that. I'm going to add another picture here, but simply maybe this is not enough. I can upload another image. Let's say I need a diagram. I open this one, I click the upload, and it automatically goes into the line. It takes a few seconds. It's going to be here. All right. You just simply save the changes for now. The next section is the text block. By default, the title of design approach is given here, and the text which were generated by AI appears here. You basically can make any changes that you want, save the changes, and it's going to appear in your page as well. The next section and final section is the picture gallery. In your picture gallery, you can add up to 12 images. I'm going to choose one of the existing images. Plans that we have as well. Make some reordering probably. Put in here. This one first. I'm going to save the changes. This appears in your project. In this video, we want to talk about work sessions. We have created our project and we also added some assets to our project. Now we like to make some changes to that asset or create new images from the scratch. For example, we have day versions of our project visualizations and we want to generate night versions of those images. Here is where work sessions come in handy. Work sessions are basically isolated work areas intended to organize a specific task within a project. There are a few ways to start a work session. You see a create button here with the plus on that. If you click on that, it takes you to the last work session of your project or creates a new one. You also see a list of your recent work sessions in this section. You can sort them by recent one or some criteria. If you click on this one, actually creates a new work session. I'm going ahead and use this one. When you click on that, the create work session window opens up. If you start the process from a project, by default the project is selected, but you can change this project to any project that you have. There is a title given by default to these work sessions. I'm going to change this to another meaningful name. Let's say visualization. And you can add a description if you like so. Go ahead and create your work session. Takes a few seconds. When the work session is created, the work session environment opens up. Inside the work session environment, you see a header on the top. You can exit the work session. You can see the project to which this work session belongs, and you can see some information about that project. And you see the name of these work sessions. If you click on this one, the work session picker window opens and you can switch to any work session within any project or create a new one. And there are some options to edit or delete with work sessions. On the left side of the screen, you see the activities section. Activity is basically any task that you do from a chat block or anywhere else. On the right side of the screen, you see the chat block. You can use the chat block to ask anything from the AI model or use one of these specialized tools that are available to you. You can also select the tools from this icon, which opens up the tools menu. At this moment, we only have the generate image, but in the future, we're going to have video edition, video generation, and many other specialized tools for your project. From here, you can add any references to the chat. You can upload the files directly to the chat or use any assets from any project that you have. This is our current project, but you can use any other project. You see the number of assets on each one. I'm going ahead and select two of this, three of these images. They go directly into the chat bar. I ask a very generic questions from the AI model. Let's see what happens. When I click on the run, it starts, it takes a few seconds. Now we have the results. You can copy the text if you like. You see the name, auto renames. And if you need to continue the chat, you can go on and do that. But if you specifically need to take care of any task, you can select, as I said, this generate image. I'm going ahead and try to make a night visualization version of one of my projects images. Let's go and select this one. So I also added a prompt to do a night version for this visualization and add some people to the image. Let's see what happens. To click run takes a few seconds because it generates image. It probably takes a few more seconds. You can also see the inputs that you have here, all the references. If you click on any of these images, it opens up as full screen. Okay, now we have our result. And something that you notice is when you use a tool, it actually mentions here that the tool is used, but the result goes into the activity sections on the left side. You can see the status, the duration, the tool was used, and you can click on this one to have a better look. I can say it did a pretty good job on this rendering. I can say that. Something you should know that all of these images or any generation that happens within a text or within a work sessions are not going to be saved into the project. That's by intention. We didn't want to overload your projects with drafts. If you need to save this to a project, click on this one. You see that it's going to save this asset to your project. So by now you have noticed that the work session and the chat block are working together, but they are separate from each other. That's by intention. One benefit of that is that within one work session, you can use different chat blocks. For example, we say that we want to leave this chat for later on for another context. We go ahead and create a new chat. A new chat opens up. Now, let's go and try another project. Let's say we want to add some people to an interior image. I add a prompt. I say basically add some people that are doing R&D in an engineering company. Let's run this and see what happens. It's going to take a few seconds. Okay, now we have our result. Our result is included in the chat. You see the input, but you also have it in your activity sections inside the work sessions. Again, you can open it up. Let's see the result. You also save this image to the project assets. So the next time actually if you want to add the reference from here, you see our new generated images are included into the asset. So you can select them and continue with that. If you need to include any of your past activities into a chat, we can do that. We go ahead and start a new chat, for example, and we want to have this input. You can copy the text anytime and include it manually, or just hit the send to chat, and the prompt and the text go directly to the chat. You can edit that, add new references, and go on with this. I'm going to clear this one for now, and I'm going to exit.